Hi, and welcome to another hour of self-care, basically. I'm still dealing with a sore tailbone, lower back area, so I'll try not to moan or groan when we're moving through our postures. But today I want to start our class with a breathing technique, pranayama, called Kapalabhati. Kapala means shining, and bhati means skull. Yeah, shining skull. Doesn't sound great, does it? But you know what? It cleanses your entire system, it warms the body, and it actually brings more focus and concentration to the practice that will follow. So it's good to have great body awareness. Also, too, drains sinuses if you have any of those issues, but we'd like to avoid them. So sitting tall, whether it's a chair, if you can sit cross-legged, great. If you can sit with your legs behind you and support your buttocks, so your knees are bent, toes are back, knees forward, but sitting tall, however you're sitting. If you're sitting in a chair, your feet should be flat on the floor. And this technique is actually an active exhalation and a passive inhalation. So I'm going to show you. We're going to do like 40 or 50 pumps. 3 times. In between each of those segments, we're going to hold our breath for about 20 seconds, 30 seconds, not very long, but all of this will stimulate, warm, prepare, and bring more focus and concentration into your brain, your mind, and so forth. Alrighty, so I'll just show you. Your shoulders shouldn't move, your head doesn't need to move. I'm going to show you quickly. I'm going to take a breath in. And then breathing exhales through the nose. So when I exhale forcefully, you can try this before we start. There's a vacuum created inside of your lungs. You passively allow the inhale to come in. It's different from Bastrika, which is bellow breathing, which is, so then your abs like bellows. But this is Kapalabhati. It is active exhalation, passive inhalation. Okay? Eyes will be closed, but basically, when you breathe in, so I'm doing exhaling through the nose and a passive inhalation through the nose. Do your best. We got 3 chances to get this right. Okay? So sitting up nice and tall. Rest your hands comfortably on your lap, up facing up or down, it doesn't matter. Make sure that your shoulders are directly over your hips. Spine is long, but not rigid. Inhale normally, and exhale normally. And inhale, and exhale. And this will be your last normal inhale. And begin. Okay, that was 40 pumps. And then just breathe normally. Inhale. And exhale. And by the way, if you can't go the speed that I was going, just do it whatever speed you can. Last inhale, and we're going to hold the breath for 20 seconds. So breathe in. Top up your lungs. And just hold your breath. Relax your shoulders. Just relax everything. Great. And exhale. Now the reason we sit, so just breathe normally while you listen to me for a moment. You can keep your eyes closed. it can happen sometimes when we hold our breath or do breathing exercises that we feel a little lightheaded. That's not abnormal. Typically, most of us are not breathing fully and completely. I actually did an oxygen or breath test yesterday. My normal breathing rate was at about 66% out of 100. Not terrible. Not brilliant either, but that's just me normal. And I'm a big breather. I'm very aware of my breath because I know how important it is to calming. Obviously, if your cells are not getting oxygen, they get nervous, they worry, basically. Okay, so let's do this one more time. Inhale and exhale. And last inhale. And go ahead, you're pulling your abs in. And that will do. And just breathe normally. So clearly, any of the area that's being compressed when we pull our abs in is stimulating to the pancreas, the spleen, the stomach, the liver, the intestines. So there's a lot of benefits. And pranayama is a higher practice than Hatha Yoga. And I'll leave that at that. All right. So let's inhale and exhale. And last inhale, breathe everything in that you can, fill those lungs up, and then lock it up. Lift your sternum, lower your shoulders, relax your face, hold your breath. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. One more pumping. Go at the speed that's comfortable for you. Okay? So inhale. Pull your abs in and begin. And that will do. And just breathe normally. Now, this is an exercise you can do anywhere. I was exaggerating the sound of my nostrils. So if you were in public transit or in your car, you can do this. You don't have to make that loud sound. Obviously, you can do this without making that Darth Vader sound. Okay, so let's come on over onto our knees. Removing your cushion, coming down onto your mat. So you're on both knees here. You're going to extend. I'm going to do the mirror image for you. So extend your left leg out to the side. Left leg out to the side. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reaching up. Exhale, take your left arm and reach it down your left leg. Reach the other arm up and over. So we're warming up the body, stretching the intervertebrae, we're stretching the spine as well, but your rib cage and your intercostal muscles. So reaching, but keep the length. Feel that stretch and breathe. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bring that right hand onto the floor. Reach the other arm up and over. Curl the toes under, if you like, of the bent leg. And then let's lift that straight leg off the floor. So I really feel this in my sacrum. I'm not going to be lifting this up too high, but if you can get it up level with your hips, beautiful. And I know a few of us have hurt ourselves this winter doing different things. Usually it's due to the ice, uneven, ground. And then lower that leg back down onto the floor. It's really just a perfect time now to settle and practice meditation. When you're physically limited, you have lots more you can do. And then let's bring the left hand down onto the floor again, reaching and stretching your right arm straight up. So you're going to feel that in your inner thigh, inner groin, reaching and stretching, breathing in, exhale, breathing out. And now turn towards that straight leg. And then reach the arms up, lift up out of your waist, exhale, reach. Again, don't go any further than you can go. I'm being very mindful in this practice. I hope you are as well. In fact, Tech Guy said the way I feel right now might be the way a lot of people feel. And then if you can bring your hands to the floor, that would be nice. And then bend that leg. Bring the foot up towards the hands, bend the leg, and let's come into a lunge. And in this case, your knee can go further than your ankle in this lunge. And then if you wish, lift that back leg off the floor. So we're in a nice low lunge here, warming our bodies up, preparing for a really solid practice. And then bring the knee back down. And let's change to the other side. Now, I know many of you have done lots of different yoga practices. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reaching up. Exhale, lower that right arm down your right leg and reach with the other arm on top. So I teach a classical Hatha Yoga practice. Now, the modern Western yoga practice, which seems to be very popular these days, really focuses a lot on the physical body, the look of it, muscles, being nice and lean and beautiful. And that's great. I'm all for it. But I want you to know, reach the arm back up and take your left hand, place it on the floor, reach the other arm over top, and then lift the other leg up. The classical Hatha Yoga style that I focus on is one that focuses on the health of the body. So not just the appearance of the body, the health. And that's why I talk to you a lot about your organs, your glands, and the benefits that you're getting. And that is also why I practice certain postures over other ones, because I know that you're getting incredible benefits for your organs and glands. Nobody wants to lose a limb, but we do better with a lost limb than we would with a lost liver or kidney, spleen, etc. Okay, and then lower that leg down, and let's come back up. And then take your right hand, place it down in front of the straight leg, and reach the other arm up. So it's an intense stretch for your inner thigh, adductor muscle on that right side. But you're reaching up, energy is up. And float the arm down. And then let's turn the body towards that straight leg. And inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, bending forward, lengthening as you bend. Now, many of you are going to come right down to the floor. Again, I'm practicing very mindfully. I'm very aware of my sacral area. It's just been a week and a half of feeling like I'm 99 years old. And then lower your hands to the floor. Draw that right foot a little bit towards your hands. And then let's come into that nice low lunge. And then curl the toes under of the back leg and lift that back knee off the floor. Breathing. And that will do. Bring that front leg back. And let's take dolphin pose. So this is a great strengthener for the upper body. It is also an inversion. So in dolphin pose, we've done this before, you're going to interlock your fingers on the floor. You're going to take the lower baby finger and bring it inside of your palm so it doesn't get, crushed. So you're interlocking your fingers, you're placing your hands on the floor. Your elbows should be right under your shoulders. Your forearms are flat on the floor. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders. You're still on your knees, but we're going to curl our back toes under. And then we're going to lift our hips up in the air and let the head hang. It doesn't touch the floor. Kind of looks a little bit like downward facing dog, but it's dolphin pose. And breathe. So clearly upper body strength here. Any kind of inversions have a relaxing effect on the heart because the heart isn't having to pump so much blood above the head. It's going there naturally now. And let's lift the right leg up in the air as much as you can and lower it down. And let's lift the other leg up in the air. And by the way, if this is too much, please don't do the leg lift. Just stay in dolphin. Anytime you need to come out of a pose, come out. And everybody come out now. Bring your knees down onto the floor. We're going to come into that wonderful child's pose. So take your knees as wide as the mat. Big toes are touching. The tops of your feet are flat. You're definitely taking your sits bones and your buttocks back towards your heels very slowly. And then release your torso between your thighs. Bring your forehead onto the mat. If that's not available, put a cushion, fold your forearms and make a pillow, or stack your fists if you need the extra height. And just let your forehead settle on whatever surface feels best for you, and breathe. Notice the movement of your back and side ribs. Inhaling deeply and exhaling fully. Warming up knee joints, ankles, hips, lengthening the spine and quieting the mind. And then draw your hands underneath your shoulders. Bring your knees together. Bring your hands forward. Spread your fingers wide apart and lift up into your first downward dog. But we're going to keep this real soft. We're just going to walk the dog here. So bend one leg, straighten the other. Feel the stretch in the back of your knee, your calves, your Achilles tendon, and change. So one leg straight, one leg bent. Feel that stretch. Wow, do I feel this stretch? Feel it in your hips, maybe in your glutes. And change. Just be aware of where the feelings are, where the stretch is, where the tightness and tension is. And breathe into that space. Don't hold your breath. Changing as slowly as you can so that you really afford yourself the time to check in with your body. All right, and now walk your feet towards your hands. And here's where we would normally just roll up to standing, but because of my lower back, I've actually been placing my hands on my thighs and pushing myself up just to protect my lower back. But everybody else, you know this one. It's rolling, keeping your chin tucked into your chest, and the head is the last thing to come up. Okay, I made it. All right, we're going to start with tree pose. Now, for those of you who find balancing difficult, I understand. I just wanted to offer that, you know, if you wanted to, you could put your foot on a block, you know, and have that feeling. Obviously, you're going to put the block right next to the other foot. So we'll start with balancing on the right leg. So you can try, if you like, I'm just making that suggestion. You can also just place the foot on the floor. I mean, there are lots of options here. But with balance poses, you need to take your time and wait for your own inner cue to balance. If your feet are slippery, it's difficult to keep the foot inside the thigh. But basically, you're going to ground that right foot down into the floor. Feel it rooted and grounded. Engage your thigh by lifting up on your kneecap. Okay, and then draw the left foot up. You do not want to press on your knee, okay? Don't press on your knee, either below your knee or above. Now I'm focusing my gaze on the floor. I find this works for balance. 8 or 9 feet in front of you. You're going to have to press the sole of your foot into your thigh, and you have to press your thigh into the sole of your foot. Bring your hands into prayer. If you feel steady, open your branches. And release. Give that standing leg a good shake out. And let's see how the other side goes. Some days balance is difficult, some days it's easier. It just is what it is. But take your time and breathe. Okay, so grounding that left foot down, really firmly rooting it. Feel the toe mounts connecting the center front of the heel, and engage your thigh by lifting up on your kneecap. So again, find your focus on the floor, 8 to 9 feet in front of you. Keep your sternum lifted. Assist your foot if you're bringing it up really high. Bringing the heel as high up the leg as you can. If your feet are slippery, hold on to it. But you do need to press the foot into the thigh and the thigh into the foot. So if you're holding, you may be that, if you have to hold your ankle the way I do on this foot, I will be that lopsided tree missing a branch. I'd like to create a pair of yoga pants. I guess they'd be like riding pants where they had something inside the thigh so that once you plopped your foot there, it would have something to grip onto. I have lots of dreams. Okay, let's come out of that. And then let's do our steeple, what I'm calling the steeple posture. So bring your toes together, your big toes, but your heels will be apart so that the outsides of your feet are parallel with the outsides of your mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Now you're going to interlock your fingers into that steeple, church steeple position. So releasing the pointers, thumbs are crossed over, the other fingers are interlocked. Reach your arms up over your head so that your ears are almost grazing, if not grazing, the inside of your arms, reaching up, up, up. And let's lean to the left, but keep the length in your spine. So don't go so far that you lose the length in your spine. So this is excellent for your kidneys, your adrenals, obviously on the side that we're stretching to. There's a compression factor on the side that we're stretching on. These organs, glands are being stretched. All of it adds up to revitalizing, rejuvenating, just helping them be more efficient, effective, healthy. Inhale, stretch up. And exhale. Again, you lengthened before you bent. Sideways. You don't have to go too far. Feel that stretch. This keeps your spinal column limber, youthful. Also, too, if anybody dealing with scoliosis, yoga is excellent to try to get your spine back into alignment. So scoliosis is where your spine has like an S shape to it. Inhale, come back up. And then lean your head back. And then let your arms fall back right beside your head. So feel the beautiful stretch. Now you're stretching the organs and glands in the abdominal core region. Not to mention, you're creating a healthy lumbar curve, so that lower curve in your lower back. And then inhale, reach up, separate your hands, exhale, bend your knees, and slowly fold. Bringing your fingertips to the floor. On an inhale, lift your hips up and straighten your legs whatever amount you can. Please let your head hang here. It's not doing anything except hanging out. And then exhale and drop your hips, bend your knees. So really bend your knees a lot here because we're going to come into horseman's pose, Utkatasana. You may want to separate your feet just a little bit, but really drop your hips and bend your knees a lot and start to shift your weight towards your heels. Okay, and then inhale, sweep the arms up. You can keep them at shoulder height, or you can lift them up on a 45-degree angle. But the weight is in the heels. You should be able to see your toes in front of your knees. So remember, this can also be toothbrush pose, teeth brushing pose. That's mine. It's just a habit now. I rarely ever bend over a sink, unless the sink's really high. Exhale, forward fold. Let your head hang. Bend your knees once again. And once more. Inhale, coming up into Utkatasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, float the arms down, taking up lots of space. Okay, let's come down onto our mats again for cobra pose. Now, remember, you have the option of baby cobra, or you can be in the fuller expression of cobra. But we'll all start with the baby expression of cobra. And I just wanted to remind you again of the incredible benefits of cobra pose. So coming down onto your tummy, obviously tones and strengthens all of your back muscles. Can have a really good effect if you have a chronic lower back pain. Well, let's see, I do have that, but I know what it's from. I had an accident. All right. I'm just making sure you're getting all this. Helps to reestablish, yeah, a proper lumbar curve and good for sciatica. Okay, so let's start actually in a modified cobra just to get the lower back warmed up. You're going to slide your forearms forward and bring your elbows underneath your shoulders with your hands straight out in front, fingers spread wide apart. Okay, and then just let your cervical vertebra and your head follow the curve of your spine. Excellent for toning the kidneys and the adrenals that sit on top of the kidneys. Adrenals can use a lot of our love and respect because they are the organs that respond to stress, which can't be avoided, but really needs to be tended to as best we can. Yoga, just being aware of being upset and breathing, exhaling especially, can go a long way to calming down the nervous system. One more inhale up. Exhale, come on all the way down. And lower your forehead onto the floor. Now align your fingertips with the edges of your shoulders. Bring your elbows into your side body and press your forearms towards the floor. Notice how this moves your shoulders away from your ears. You're pressing your hips and pelvis into the floor. You're going to roll an invisible alley with your nose, and we're all going to come up into baby cobra. So this is where you get to strengthen the muscles in the lower back. These muscles, they get so weak because we sit in comfortable chairs. We've stopped sitting up straight, or maybe not you, but a lot of people just like to lean back into a chair, let their spine round, and give their back muscles a permanent vacation. They lose their core strength. They lose a sense of good posture. It impedes digestion, proper breathing, all kinds of things ensue from one little thing that we don't pay attention to. So I repeat myself a lot about things, but I'm hoping that eventually they just become habits. And once they're a habit, you don't even need to think about it anymore. You just do the right things most of the time. Inhale one more time. Exhale, lower your head back down. And we'll get relief for the lower back in just a moment. Now, for the fuller expression of cobra, we have a couple of options here. You can take your hands wider apart, as wide as your mat, or maybe even just slightly off the mat. And you can spread your legs apart, and I'm definitely doing that today so that my feet are at the edges of the mat and big toes are pressing into the mat. So that just broadens the area across the lower back, the sacral area, the sacrum. Alrighty, so choose a hand position, or you can stay with baby cobra if you wish. But your hands can be underneath your shoulders if you know your lower back is pretty flexible. If you're not sure, spread your hands a little bit wider and spread your feet. Okay, roll the invisible alley with your nose, press your hips and pelvis into the floor, flatten the tops of your feet, and slowly press up into your version of Cobra, Bhujangasana. And remember, it's not important that the arms are straight. Often when the arms are straight, the shoulders end up around our ears. Keep the shoulders down. Make sure your middle finger's pointing forward. Breathing. check in with your buttocks. They don't need to participate here. They can relax. They can be slightly engaged, but don't have them tight. One more inhalation. Exhaling slowly, come all the way down. If your hands are not, bring them under your shoulders and let's press up and come on onto your backs. So Sharvangasana, the queen position of yoga, and I know some of you are, I was very tentative about doing a shoulder stand with my back the way it is, but practicing mindfully, it's working just fine. So Sharvangasana, really important posture. It's called the queen posture of yoga because it really stimulates all your limbs and it benefits your body and your mind. Balances metabolism, digestion, insulin production, gives your heart a rest, encourages deep abdominal breathing, stimulates the throat, the thyroid, the parathyroid, which is why your metabolism is improved. Now, if you don't feel that shoulder stand is something you wish to do, then use a block or a cushion and at least get your legs up in the air. I am going to do the shoulder stand. I don't even want to put that pressure of the block underneath my lower back, but I'm going to carefully get into it. And then we're going to do Sharvangasana, which is halasana, a lot of the same benefits. Okay, so bend your legs, arms are beside your body, and then slowly lift up, and I'm hoisting myself with my hands, and I'm just going to come into half shoulder stand, just to begin with, supporting my lower back. And the thing is, when we injure ourselves, if we don't move, well, that's not always ideal. I mean, but you know, being very careful and mindful about movement helps the healing process. The body was designed to move. It wasn't designed to be stationary. Okay, so with your knees bent and supporting now with your hands more of your waist as opposed to your hips, slowly straighten your legs. This is restful for your heart. Because of the compression in the upper part of your lungs, you're now being forced to get air into the lower part of your lungs, which optimizes the exchange of oxygen and the release of carbon dioxide. This is also beneficial because of the venous blood easily returning to the heart, beneficial for those who suffer with varicose veins or hemorrhoids. So just hanging out here in Sharvangasana, the queen posture of classical Hatha Yoga, benefiting body and mind. And then slowly, slowly, slowly lower the legs over behind your head. Go very slowly. I may not be going very far today. Some of you, if you take your legs wide apart, you might find this a little easier to lower the legs down over behind the head. Test the waters. Go slow. Fantastic benefits here. In addition to everything that you just received from doing your shoulder stand, this is an intense stretch for your spine. I think if you measured your height before doing halasana and then after, you would find that you might be a little bit taller. Many of us are, I'm going to call us shrinking violets. We just let everything sink. and compress, because we're not thinking about lengthening, reaching up, stretching out. Okay, bend the knees and bring them both one on other beside the ears. And then let's slowly straighten the legs, coming back in to shoulder stand. Lower the left leg down over behind your head, halfway, or further if you prefer. Back up. Right leg, lower down over behind your head. And then bring the left leg to join the right leg, and then slowly and carefully, with as much control as you can, bring your hands to the floor and slowly releasing all the way down and out. And of course, the blood supply, extra blood supply into the neck, face, head, brain region is very, very nourishing. So again, if you have a sore lower back, bend your knees to bring your feet to the floor. If your back is strong, you can lower straight legs all the way down to the floor. All right. Drawing both knees now into your chest, one hand on each leg. Let's just do a little rocking from side to side. I'm not going to do much because this is the area that's really unhappy, but just holding my knees into my chest. And if you want to as well, having your knees in stimulates the ascending, transverse, and descending colon. Let's extend the left leg down in front and keep the right leg bent, right knee bent. With your left hand, slowly and carefully take it over to the left side. So right knee is coming over to the left side. Extend the right arm out to the right side and turn your head to the right as well. And breathe into whatever area feels tight. It might be your butt, it might be your shoulders, your armpit, your chest. It could be all of the above. Good deep inhaling and exhaling. Just notice what's going on in your body. I hope it's not as much as what's going on in mine right now. It kind of makes me laugh because normally I don't really feel a whole lot when I'm doing a lot of these postures, but because of my fall, I'm feeling a tremendous amount in a lot of different areas. And that's okay. All right, let's bring that right knee back. Rolling onto your back and draw the left knee up and extend the right leg straight out in front. And with your right hand on the outside of your left knee, slowly take it across your body. Keeping the thigh perpendicular to your body as much as possible. Extend your left arm out to the side. And just going as far as you can. Noticing any differences from one side to the other. Just be aware and breathe into that area. Asking it to relax, to release, to let go. And the more we hold the posture, the better opportunity for your muscles to become relaxed, to let go. And allow more balance and harmony to become part of your being. And also notice that a lot of our mental, emotional tension and stress is released because that stuff winds up in our bodies. So just know that some of the tension is a result of normal life, normal stresses, and then inhale, bring that knee back, and carefully extend it out in front. And then we're going to do a counteract stretching for both Halasana and Charvangasana, which is our fish pose, Matsyasana. So take your heels to the edges of your mat, bring your arms beside your body with your palms facing down, and they should be very close to your body. Your hands might even be underneath your thighs. And then lift your head and look at your toes, and then come on up onto your elbows, and then carefully, and keep your elbows as close to your body as you can, and then slowly let your head fall backwards, letting the crown of your head lightly rest on the floor. So there's not very much weight on the top of your head, but this is stretching the cervical vertebra and the thoracic vertebra in the opposite direction that you were just in for your shoulder stand. But even if you didn't do the shoulder stand, this is great for counteracting a hunched back, rounded shoulders. You're opening up your chest here, opening up your throat, Vishuddha chakra, speaking your truth, perhaps a little more available, whether you just tell yourself or a friend or put it down on paper. Sometimes, not sometimes, I've done a lot of journaling, I've done a lot of work. Putting stuff on paper, just get it out. Don't censor it. Be as angry, sad, mad as you want. Put it on a piece of paper, get it out, put it down. You don't have to read it again. You can tear it up, throw it into the fireplace. It's a great way to let go of stuff. Okay, lift your head up and come on all the way back down. And then just take a moment here. Turn your palms up in the open and receiving position. You can bring your heels closer together. Let your feet splay out. Reach your arms towards your feet. Lift your shoulder blades up. Tuck them under. And just take a moment here to allow the benefits of everything you have just done to be integrated and absorbed by your body. I mean, this is something too that's part of the classical Hatha Indian yoga practice. I recognize that a lot of modern Western practices, they'll say lie down if you need to, but basically they just keep going and going because it's more about the aerobics, the fitness of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. But I am trying to make the distinction between the therapeutic Hatha Yoga that I feel is most beneficial. If you're going to spend an hour doing something, why not get the biggest possible benefits you can? All right. Let's roll over onto our side. So roll over towards your device, whatever that might be. And then curl the toes under. Bring your hand, curl your toes under, and let's once again, come up to standing. We're going to do a couple of variations on Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. So once again, you're going to roll up to standing, or if you have a sore lower back, place your hands on your thighs and give yourself a little assistance coming up. Oh, I'm just so happy to be getting through this. It's really been quite a challenge for me. Okay, so coming up to the fronts of your mats, I'm going to take a wee sip of water. In Warrior 1, you're going to take your left foot back about 2.5 to 3 feet. And then you want you to take your right foot towards the outer edge of your mat. So your right foot is going to be 90 degrees forward, and your back foot is going to be about 60 to 70 degrees forward. This allows openness in the front of the body towards the front of your mat, of your hips and your chest and your shoulders. Bend your front knee. Make sure that you can see your big toe inside of your knee, so your knee is tracking over your outside toes. Keep your torso straight up and down here. Hips and shoulders are aligned. Inhale and sweep the arms up. Reaching up and stretching up. Warrior 1. Your gaze can go up as well. Keep your fingers active. And then bring your arms behind your back, interlock your fingers, squeeze your shoulders together. Inhale, lift your hearts up, look up at the ceiling. Now keep your front knee bent and your back leg straight. And with your heart leading, slowly fold inside of your front leg. So bringing your torso onto your front thigh, bring your arms up as high as you can. Remember to practice with awareness, respect, and compassion. And then release your hands to the floor. Now, this is where you may want to have your block or blocks. So if you have a couple of blocks, place your fingertips on the floor. And let's see if you can straighten that front leg. Coming into front angle bend. If you are unable to straighten your front leg, bend your back leg. That will help you straighten your back leg. When your back leg is straightened, you can feel your hamstrings. Now, I hope you don't feel just the insertion or the origin of your hamstrings. I'm hoping that you can feel the stretch in the belly of the hamstring. So the hamstring inserts into the sits bone. All right, that bony bit in your butt, and it also inserts into the back of your knee. So one is the origin and one is the insertion, and doesn't matter, I can't remember which one's which, but it's the belly. You want to feel the stretch in the belly of the hamstring. Okay, and then let's come back up into Warrior 1, and we're going to transition into Warrior 3, which is a balance posture. So there was somebody asking for more balances. I hope you're here today. As I said, I have no idea who wrote what, but I was very grateful to get all of your feedback. So thank you very, very much. Okay, so transfer your weight onto that front right foot. Slowly, take your time. Lift your back leg off the floor. Whatever amount you can. Focus your gaze. And come on back up and release your arms down and give your standing leg a little shake out. Okay, let's step the right leg back now, about 2.5 to 3 feet, and then walk your left foot out to the side. Left foot 90 degrees forward. This is really important. Your back foot about 60 to 70 degrees forward. And you are squared off to the front of your mat. Bend your front knee, look down inside and see your big toe. Inhale and sweep the arms up. Eyes can be looking up. Stretching, releasing, compression in the spine. Bring your arms behind your body, interlock your fingers. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Look up the sky. Lead with your hearts. and slowly fold over that bent knee, inside if possible, lifting your arms up. If you can, rest your torso on that front thigh. Or if you're a little more bendy, you can bring the torso off the thigh and just let everything hang. Try to relax your neck here. Let your head hang. Bringing the arms up as high as you're able without any harm. No harm, ahimsa. Release your hands to the floor. Tent your fingers. Again, this is where you may wish to have your blocks if you need that extra height to add. And then straighten your front leg as much as you can. I said if you need to, bend your back leg. That'll help. But I want you to feel the stretch in the belly of your hamstring. Relax your neck, relax your head. Most of the focus here is on the stretch of the hamstring or your hammy if you want to have some fun and help your hamstrings have a good time. Call them hammies or not. So your front leg doesn't need to be straightened just to feel that stretch. But the idea is that stretching the front leg and straightening it will increase the stretch in those tight hamstrings that they're very resistant, but they eventually relax. All righty. Now inhale, come back up into warrior one, and then we're going to transition into warrior three. So shift your weight onto your left foot, lift that back leg up. Again, I'm not able to go too far because of my sacrum, but lift it up whatever height you can. And step it back. And then I'm going to turn around because we're going to spread our legs wide apart on the mat, wide apart. Turn your feet out. Place your hands on your waist. Inhale, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Bending from the crease of the hips. Tent your fingertips below your face. Tabletop your spine. Inhale, sweep the left arm up, reaching up, stretching up, and looking up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, sweep the other arm up. Exhale, float it down. Let's lunge over to the right, bringing bum close to heel as possible. Inhale, up and over. Exhale to the other side, lunging. Inhale, up into the center. Walk your feet together. And let's come down flat onto our backs for Shavasana. Flat out and relaxing. So take a moment here to close your eyes. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Relax your jaw. Turn your palms up in the open and receiving position. Have your hands far enough away from your body that you feel your shoulders, not just your shoulder blades, but your shoulders resting comfortably on the floor. Let your feet splay out to the side and let your body be soft and heavy. I'm going to quote Helen Keller, a woman who was deaf and blind. She said, "Although the world is full of suffering, it's also full of overcoming it. Although the world is full of suffering, it's also full of overcoming it. To see the beauty and the troubles of the world through wise, hopeful, and compassionate eyes. At this time, we can take comfort in the words of people who know what it is to suffer, and believe in the power of prayer. It can be a difficult world, but it's still a beautiful world. Stay in Shavasana for a few more minutes if you can. It turns on your parasympathetic nervous system, the one that we all need to heal, restore, and balance body, mind, and soul. Thank you for spending some time taking care of yourself and joining me in taking care of myself. Namaste. Have a great day.